John Buddy. Yes, he's a sharp guy, sober. He doesn't get too emotional unnecessarily, and he makes a lot of sense. Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yes. Anglo Leasing is it's a company in the US. Yeah, I mean in the UK, called Anglo Leasing International, something like that. But it refers to in Kenya a set of certain contracts, security contracts, that were signed into from the late 90s to early in the Kibaki's government, dealing with different things. But it was a corrupt deal. It was shrouded in a lot of corruption. So a lot of those contracts were not delivered upon. Some were delivered upon. Others, the prices were inflated. And there's been a big legal tussle on how to sort out some of those issues. Because like in the case that Kenyans know of recently, there was one contract for a company called First Mercantile. That was for Easy Manine. This internet connections in post offices, broadband connections. So those guys, they did those things across post offices, but they inflated the prices. Kenya had refused to pay. They took us to court. The court said you must pay. All avenues of appeal were exhausted. And so the court said all avenues of appeal have been exhausted. And so because of that, we had to pay that money, 1.4B, because not only did the court say that, but because of our credit rating, because we're trying to get 140 billion through a Eurobond. So it was a very painful thing, but that's how it was. Right now, the one I can't get out of my mind because of that is not theirs, but Bob Marley's Get Up, Stand Up for Your Rights. So, see at the minimum shamba, but I love music. I play music. I play the bass guitar, and I also play the acoustic guitar. But right now, what is on my mind is that song. Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. Many times. Very many times. Very many times. And I guess that's the beauty of how we work, because the good thing about him is if he's upset with you, he will tell you, and you'll have your fight, but at the end of the day, that issue will be done and you'll be friends again. Yes, I think I'm always broke. I'm in business. I do business. And in business, cash flow is important. Sometimes there's money, sometimes there's no money. Sometimes you're just waiting for a certain payment. So yeah, there are times I'm actually a bit broke. But that doesn't mean that then I'm totally without hope or anything. It just means that until I get the next payment, there's certain things I will not do. Yvonne Okwara of KTN. The best news I've had this year. This is 2014. First of all, the best news was when my bill passed in Parliament, giving young guys 30% procurement opportunities. I was so elated, and I was watching it on the news again. So I was very happy so that young guys can get opportunities. The best political news that has happened, I think, was the CORD rally on Saturday. The Saturday that has passed, it was totally, it was a mess. But that's just, poking fun at them. Yeah. A lot of the killings that have been happening, insecurity, the attacks, they have really been sad. The news of the boy who lost his mother and had a bullet in his head, Osinya, was the worst news I've had this year. My first job, official job, like real job, was when I was 18 years old. Actually turned 18 on the job. I was 17, just after high school. I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers as an asset audit clerk for 6 months. Then after that, I doubt I've been employed again, because I went to uni where I got into business. So I had a cyber, which is still in town, a saloon, a laundry, kinyozi, in campus. So after that, I just went on doing things. Brazil. I didn't necessarily quit it. It was, I went in as a clerk. I was employed and I was not even qualified, but they liked how I presented myself. So I was working with guys who were very qualified. But I was doing it before I went into university, because I wanted to streamline my professional or career choices and to learn the basic professional work and workplace ethics. So it came time to go to university. I was actually hoping to go to Harvard, but something happened. My transcript was sent late, so they told me you have to wait for the waiting list for the next year to apply again. So I just decided to leave it and join the University of Nairobi. I was in Aga Khan Primary School on Limuru Road. I went to Lenana School for secondary, popularly known as Changes. Juzi too, but I was in Changes, 99 to 02. Registration number 8916, 1A24R, Tomboya House. Favorite Capital FM DJ is obvious, Adrian. Adrian. Even DJ Joe Mfalme is also quite deadly, but Adrian has a very mature DJ. Very well. My best dish is ugali tu sukuma wiki na nyama, but I can cook speciality. I can do Chinese. I can do some little Italian. I'm trying to learn, but I can do Chinese very well because it's very easy and fast to do Chinese. Johnny Bravo. None of the above. He's someone I've never met, and he died a long time ago, called Tomboya. That is the person, because I've read a lot of his history. I've interacted with his family members. I've learned a lot about him. I feel most connected to him as a political character. Currently, of course, it's the President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has taught me a lot, and I like his style of leadership. He's a very open person. Kuna ile attitude, there's that people, it's easier not to believe than to believe. It's easier to give up than to try. And because for many years, guys have not gotten these opportunities. Guys assume that lazima ujue mtu, lazima uite Sakaja, you have to call this person, you must know a minister, or So because people are looking for hookups, they're spending more energy looking for hookups than trying to actually pursue those contracts. There's another category that is waiting for somebody to come and knock at their doors to tell them, guys, here are the contracts, here's ways of apply. But I have confidence that many more are waking up from that kind of apathy. Of course, to get Uhuru re-elected, then I will also be seeking up a seat, an elective position in Nairobi. Yeah. Not yet. I've been drowsy, but I've not slept. Usually when they're the long speeches, either budget or sometimes the opening, but I've not slept in Parliament. None. Not 9, none. 0. MISS, IPP, MISS, IPPI. Is that right? Mob. Zamon nilikuwa chairman wa wedding committees mingi. And I've been the youth chairman at my church. Then I became TNA chairman. In Parliament, I'm chairman of a committee that has members of Parliament and senators, members of National Assembly and senators. I'm the chair of the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities Committee. I'm also the chairman of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association, and I'm chairman of all committee chairs in Jubilee. I chair their caucus. That is the most interesting interview I've ever had. Oh my God.